Hey, if you need to do something actively, you're still gonna have to roll. But I mean, if it's 1 through 10, then it's just 10. That's reliable talent. And then you go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's such a stupid skill.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you gonna give someone the ability to just be like, "Oh, I rolled a natural 1, so it's a 10 plus my stuff."
There is a race they released in gosh, what is it called? It's Plane Shift Zendikar, called the Core, and they have a racial feat called Brave. I think it's just called Lucky. Anytime they roll a 1 on a skill check or in attack roll,
the Huffling ability.
Yeah, they get to re-roll it. Like, no cooldown, no anything. They just don't roll 1s. And it's awesome. Anyways, everything, well, I say everything is going. Let me double check just to make sure it is. A skill. Boom, it is. Alright, we are live. And, and boom.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What's going on?
I just saw another video for the Detective Pikachu movie.
Hey, the Ilderon Tales tonight, sponsored by Detective Pikachu. After the 2 Deadpool movies, I'm always hyped for anything Ryan Reynolds puts out.
Okay, I just saw fucking Mr. Mime in this, and it was the most terrifying thing in the entire world.
I mean, that's just a mime. But anyways, welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group A. Yeah, Group A. Sky of Wolves, Episode 4, the second part of their campaign. It's not Through the Heart. I had to catch myself on that. And for tonight...
And Brandon's to blame?
Yeah, for Group C. Tonight, though, we have a full party. I'm going to do a kind of a big recap, so I'll take 5 minutes to do that real quick. And then...
I'm going to tell Bradley you said that.
Group C knows how I feel about them. It's a redheaded stepchild situation. I love them because I'm contractually obligated to. So
yes,
no, I'm
yes,
kidding.
we know how you feel, Brandon.
I'm joking. Now I feel bad.
I mean, to be fair, most of us in Group C feel the same way.
No, he's not.
Anyways, though, tonight we are, of course, always playing D&D. D&D is a role-playing game. Everything you are going to see tonight is not scripted.
No!
We are not reading from any books. I have to put this at the top of every video because the last job I had, working down in the South, I worked for like a 45-year-old like middle-aged man, and he like saw, and it's like Southern man who didn't really know anything about fantasy, and he saw my YouTube channel, and he's like, I tried to watch what you guys were doing, and I couldn't follow any of it. Were you guys like reading a book or something? And I'm just like, oh god, you have no idea what D&D is. So I try.
D&D's the devil.
Yeah, I try and start from the lowest common denominator and then build into the story. So, anyways, D&D, role-playing game. We are rolling dice. Nothing you see tonight is predetermined. Anything can happen. I've got notes on character motivations, but otherwise the story can go in any direction. There are rules that govern the mechanical feats of our characters, but other than that, anything goes with role-playing and everything else. We are playing in a homebrew setting called Ilderon. It is a world where gods and mortals all walk around on the same material plane. And it is a very small world with everybody kind of pushed into this confined space that is just bigger than medieval Europe. And I think slightly more population. One of the two. Anyways, the group tonight is the Sky of Wolves. It is a group of criminals and paladins who have bonded together to hunt a evil sorceress. who is basically wreaking destruction on the nations of the world. The party just found out last week what her goals are and why she's been doing the things she's doing. So we're going to jump in from there. The party was going through this fortress called, this sabotage abandoned fortress called Westwind. When the fortress was once a military front for the nation of Arder Sarai to protect their borders, but Elena actually sabotaged it a few months back and destroyed majority of it. And now just scavengers and raiders and bandits live inside the remains of the fortress. The party discovered that a greater demon had took up residence inside of this fortress as they were diving deeper and deeper below it. And the reason they were here was because they had heard there was a secret library inside of this fortress with information that could kind of give them more insight into what Elena is doing and what she's after. And so they were looking for that secret library in the dungeons of the fortress. They encountered the greater demon that was living here. Her name was Fian Iraala, and she told the party she had broken free of a prison that should have been impossible for her to break free from, and she doesn't know how or why she was able to. And in order to reprison her there was an artifact used combined with her demonic amulet that basically, if somebody got a hold of it and used it properly, they could indefinitely lock her away again, and she didn't want to be locked away. The artifact was also immensely evil, and when the party encountered it, profaning and desecrating a large part of the fortress. So she offered the party a deal. If they destroyed it for her, she would grant them power or something in exchange for doing it. And that nobody that bore her mark or any of her zealots that worshipped her could go near it or touch it because of the magical enchantments on it. And the party, fearing a conflict with her after she threatened to persuade the party, decided, you know what, we're good. We're just going to go down there, and whatever happens, happens. We're not making a deal. We'll see you later. Unbeknownst to the party, when Fian Iraala asked Solmane who his mate was, Nykirin had a reaction to the comment, and she honed in on it and cast Dominate Person on Nykirin secretly. The party then ventured down into the caverns below the fortress. They found, after much seeking and puzzle solving, they found the secret library. And inside of the library, Fian Iraala warned you guys that one more of her children were down here roaming these tunnels. But the person bore her mark and couldn't interact with the hammer. That said, the woman appeared to be a zealot, and this hammer seemed to have more binding properties than Fian Iraala initially let off, and the woman was protecting it, claiming that it gave the demon more power. Fian Iraala took over Nykirin and attacked the last zealot down here, along with the party circling around her. She was some sort of Medusa, blessed with the ability to turn people to stone. And the party dispatched her before she could petrify any of the party. From there, the party was in the secret library, and you spread out, and you found several tomes, several pieces of information. And before you could read all of what you found, Ogun and Teak found the hammer in the center of the library. It appears that underneath this place was where the demon was bound, and the stone was, of course, the hammer was inside of this ritualistic circle, the ground radiating around it, the hammer crackling lightning and lodged into the stone, and all around where this hammer was this shattered white glass, much like you guys saw when the Earthfire was when the Earthfire was crystallized and stolen by Elena. How it had that glassy white remnants behind. The party then conjecturing that when Elena stole this Earthfire, it released this demon from its prison. And then the ground was molten stone as Fian Irala had risen from there and burned her way through the fortress to get out. Firan Irala took control of Nykirin again and used her to destroy the hammer. Teak pulled her off of the hammer and delivered the final blow to it, shattering it into pieces and destroying it. From there, the party continued to investigate the library, and you guys found several important books. I don't remember all the books you found. If you want to ask me about them when the session starts, you can, and I will tell you what's the information of them if you guys give me the names. But the key information that the party did put together, there was a section on information of of the different interactions gods have had with mortals in the forms that those gods have taken. And it was just a catalog and a log of like all of these different interactions. That entire section was burned, implying that whatever information Elena came here for was intentionally destroyed in that area. Out of the stuff that the party found remained, though, you discovered several key things. One, an ancient mage by the name of Kargod Calgarin claimed that the Earthfires are not actually gifts from a god, but instead they are pieces of a god. Secondly, you found there is a written list of every smith and guild that knows how to work Valpyr into Earthfire artifacts. The last person on that list was a man by the name of Leroy Mallet, who was listed alive until a few months ago, and that since then, actually a few weeks ago, and since then somebody had came by and edited the log, scratching out that he is dead. That said, the party looked for who the current librarian is of Westwind, and they found the name Rukai Rendell. And yeah, so we'll pick up from there. It is the evening of the 8th of Hunter. You guys are all in the bottom of the library below Westwind. The hammer is destroyed. I think Teak is carrying the pieces. I think Fractus has a book by Kargod Calgarin. And your scribe, your guide is busy looting everything she can, putting as much stuff into her backpack as possible. What would you like to do? I'm going to take us over to the right page. Oh, I deleted the drawing of the library.
RIP.
Yeah. I can draw it back, though.
Come on, it amazes with your MS Paint skills.
Hey Brandon, what did you have? Did my max HP change from last time I was here? Or not max HP.
Your current HP? No, it did not. I think the only one who took damage from the Medusa was Fractus and Ogan. I believe.
I took damage from the bowl.
Yeah. Oh, and when they destroyed the hammer, it wasn't dispelled and it exploded. So Ogan, Teak, Nykirin, and Soulmane avoided the damage. Alright, so the secret library is a series of 5 rooms that are 15 feet wide and 15 feet tall. And they... There we go, just like that. They go around in a circle, and in the center, there is the main area where the hammer was found. And we will draw an additional passageway like that. Boom. All right, there we go. Recreated. And also, I will draw this with one more X. You guys have investigated every room, each room bearing different information. The purple X is the room with all of the destroyed records.
So what's the plan from here?
We only got one of these rooms that was explored, right?
All of the rooms have been explored. That was what the party did at the end of last session. I gave people books. I don't remember all the books I gave them. Each room held different information, all of the information relating to earth fires in some way or another. I would need whatever people's notes are on it back to remember what each one was specifically. Or, you know, I can tell you guys again, but I did it based on people's investigation checks.
So we haven't taken a long rest yet, right?
You have not. It is the end of the 8th of Hunter. Oh, I'm sorry. I did forget one thing in the recap. One important thing. At the after the hammer was destroyed and the party was talking back and forth, Firan Irala took control of Nykirin one last time and thanked the party, and said that she will grant you guys the boon if you want it. But if you don't want the boon, another thing she can do for you, Nykirin has been keeping it on the low, but she is suffering from memory loss. Firan Irala said that she can restore Nykirin's memories, but she can only do it in person. If you guys would like that as a reward.
Would you say typically thrown out character, no shit, Sherlock?
Mm-hmm.
I think that also falls into the, you know, wouldn't trust her farther than I could kick her, and she can teleport, so that's not far enough.
Fair. That's fair.
Let's see. We can either get demonic powers, which most of us don't trust, or we could help out a friend.
Helping out a friend is fine, but that help comes with a price, most likely, and it probably involves getting completely mind-fucked into oblivion. Or at least into complete servitude.
Or maybe we already paid the price. Gestures to the hammer.
Whatever this is, you're trusting a demon to...
Yeah, but, yeah, I don't expect this creature to honor any kind of deal.
Trusting a demon to keep her word is slightly
foolhardy at best.
Yeah,
suicide at
be
worst.
Able to trust her if you can watch everything she's doing and know if she does try to pull anything off, and her entire existence is at stake.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure we just destroyed the one thing that could help us control that.
And that's probably why she brainjacked Nykirin. Does this surprise you at all that, oh yeah, sure, I'll restore your memory. I'm going to have access to your brain again. I can only do it in person. more access.
from proven, she can do it anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least this time, maybe I could see it if I knew what I was, and I kind of know what I'm looking for, but being able to remove it.
Wasn't this hammer the only thing keeping her here in the first place?
Well, a little bit more in depth about the hammer, because the party did, roll religion checks and stuff about it. I just didn't want to spam that at the start of the session. So a demon can create a demonic amulet, and what happens if they create a demonic amulet? When you kill a demon, you don't ever kill a demon. It just goes back to the, goes back in this world to the bridge. And it reforms there. They can create a demonic amulet, and it kind of works like a phylactery. Of every time you kill a demon, it just instantly respawns at its amulet. Fianne Iraala, from what she guys told you and what the party put together, the hammer... Ogan found a book on information about binding demons using Earthfire magic. The hammer was functioning as her demonic amulet of, yes, it was binding her here, but more so, it made her stronger, but it also, it was both a boon and a benefit. Every time she died, she was going to come back to Westwind, and she could never move that hammer. And if anybody else got it, they can control her. And if you get another demon's, amulet, you can try and exert control over that demon. So it was, you guys did a good thing in that, you stopped other people from getting that hammer and, using her for horrific things. But also, destroying it makes her weaker, but she's not bound, here anymore. There's no way to imprison her. If you guys would have killed her before, she would have been waiting for you in the library. If, by destroying the hammer, if you guys decide to try and kill her, she's going back to the bridge.
All I'm saying is, we've already done everything she wants.
Oh, I'm sure she can come up with more things that are just amusing instead of necessary. Short version, I don't trust her. Yes, it would be nice.
I don't trust her, but it makes sense.
I can't, in good faith, now that we know that she's here, just leave her here.
Oh, I'm not leaving her here permanently, but Elena first, because she's world-ending, and
yes,
and
we have.
Comes next.
We definitely have higher priority things than. Yes.
How are you
as
sure
regrettable as it is to leave a demon in our wake, Elena is threatening something much larger. Due to what we now know, it might be possible for her to either resurrect or, even more terrifying, create something of deific power. We cannot allow her to do that. And if dealing with this demon would slow us down in any way, I would be... I would regret it. There will be time to deal with the demon later.
Why did we stop to deal with the werewolves then?
That was different.
Werewolves are a quickie compared to demon killing. We would need some preparation. We got the shackles. But we need to
werewolves are simple.
Enough, and there's a few other ritual pieces that we would need to really bind her. So, not so easy. Werewolves, you stick them enough times, they fall over. They're done. Easy.
Well, just send her back to the bridge. It would take years for her to reform in the first place, wouldn't it?
Does it? I don't think so.
Yeah, there's also the possibility we could die in the process.
That too.
Also that.
Also, I think without some good way of pinning her down, she'll just teleport out if we attack her. Okay.
Yeah, so what we do is we get the thing we want, like Kira's memory, and then we leave. And we put a little note on the side saying, we will be back.
I feel like there are other methods that we could use to solve Nykiren's issue. I don't trust gifts from demons.
Yeah, you know, instead of taking the thing that's right here that may be a little sketchy, let's just spend more time wasting not going after Elena to try and figure it out.
I didn't say
Hypocrisy.
that. I didn't say that.
Well, then get to the point.
The point is, we will continue to chase Elena. That is final.
Okay, boss.
All right. Also, too, Wesley, something I forgot in the recap. That if it soothes your mind at all, Fian Irala told the party when she was first summoned here, she went on a killing spree thousands of years ago, and became incredibly powerful.
Real soothing.
Yeah. And the more powerful she became, the more people that came to try and kill her until somebody eventually bound her. That said, she has no intentions of doing that again. She told the party she just wanted to be worshipped, and she was never going to leave Westwind. This was going to be her new domain. So,
to be perfectly honest, the word of a demon means about as much to me as a bag of sand.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I was just saying, if it soothes you at all.
Question.
Yes.
Is she specifically a demon? Not.
Is you cut off on your very last word.
Demon or devil?
From what you guys know, a demon.
Yeah, because things can never be easy.
I know nothing.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's, I mean, it's I don't know what else to tell you. She called herself a demon, and the cultist called her a demon, and then the your guide called her a demon.
Good enough.
Yeah. If it
really, you haven't Brandon hasn't necessarily differentiated between demons and devils in this world anyway.
Yeah.
My knowledge.
Well, yeah, the parties have met devils unconscious, like, you know, who haven't known, but in D&D, you know, the most like common differentiator between devils and demons is you can reason with devils, and demons are basically they just want what they want.
You think you can.
Yeah, exactly. You can make a deal with the devil, and most of the time it's going to come out in the devil's favor. But the demon's just going to do whatever it can to get what it wants.
Yeah, the chaotic versus lawful.
Yeah.
Alright, well, if we're just leaving, then...
I mean, the argument here, out of character, is... Sure, don't trust the demon, but... what's stopping the demon from doing exactly what you want anyway might... since the demon's just gonna do whatever the fuck it wants anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's just gonna do what it wants, so...
So might as well get the benefit of Nykiren's memory.
But it's not ever as simple as that, because there's always an ulterior motive. And
yes, and the ulterior motive is demon's gonna do whatever the hell it wants anyway.
Well, then we have a way of dealing with that too. But what I'm saying is, interacting with it even more than necessary is only going to put ourselves at greater risk.
Not only that, but
then we do the minimalistic. We get in, we get what we want, we get out.
We're not dealing with the devil again. We're leaving. Understand?
Demon.
Teak turns to Nykiren and says, "Sorry, Nykiren, but in addition to that, I don't see what tangible benefits we would gain if we did enter into that deal."
Yeah, Nykiren, who does not at all look fazed by this conversation, is just going to shrug and say, "I didn't need my memories before, I don't need them now."
There you go.
See? She doesn't even want them!
Let's go.
And we can probably find a much safer way to do it.
My point exactly.
If it puts you at ease,
do you
if I
have the books that you require?
He's dead, Jim.
Hogan is really talkative today.
Yeah. Two books I know for certain the party picked up, or read, or three. You read The Log of Earthfire Smiths. You read a book about binding demons and the uses of Earthfire magic. And then you also read a book about the nature of the Earthfires by Kargod Calgarin, which I think somebody chose to keep, and I think that was Fractus.
Hogan only kept the one Duzerki Pelia. I think that's the only one I've got in my notes.
Okay, that is the one by Kargod Calgarin. That's the
Out of character, Fractus is holding whatever Ogun wants him to keep. So
yeah, that's the book by Kargod Calgarin. It's the he is known as the father of arcane magic.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. All right. So from here, where's the party want to go? They can. Soulmane and Outward found a way out of this passage, or out of these tunnels without backtracking through the fortress. Or you guys can go to. I'm pretty sure nobody wants to go to Fian Iraala.
Yeah, I don't want to go visit with her unless we're geared up and ready.
After hearing Nikiran's opinion on it, just Albert's walking out. Well, what are we winning?
All right. If the party is heading out to out through the passageway, underneath in the caverns next to the underground river that leads out into the Alianga River, you are going to be able to walk all of that, and it's going to be well after sunset by the time you do. And once you get to the small fort, or the small shack on the top of the hill that lets out from the stairs that overlooks this passage, looking back, you can see Westwind in the distance behind you. It's the same amount of time hiking back to where you're. Well, no, it's actually about half the time because you're not going through the fortress again. But anyways, hiking back to where you left the rest of your companions and where they set up camp. Once the party leaves Westwind, I need to roll something.
Before we are completely out of there,
yes.
I want to make sure that the deal that we made with our guide is not going to basically screw us out of any of the books that we actually need to accomplish our mission kind of stuff.
The deal you made with her was she gets to keep anything she can carry. She wanted half, and then you guys negotiated that down.
Yeah, half by, or slightly less than half by value, not by weight, yada yada yada. But basically, we're in the library. She needs to take her cut out of the library.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
She was picking up artifacts while you guys were down there. All right, and then we've already discussed loot off of stream, off of what everybody picks up in the library. Moving out of this place, I rolled a 5. All right, it is going to be. It is going to be. Well, you know what? Just because I'm changing this for my own purposes. It's gonna be Willow who's actually the one to receive this sending. And as you are leaving, Willow's going to get a sending that is definitely, he knows who it's from. It's from Iraala, and she's going to say, leaving without saying goodbye. Well, make sure to spread the word Tell all the commoners there's a demon trading power for wealth at Westwind. I need new cultists.
Is the sending one way?
You can respond. Up to 25 words.
No, it's not going to be that many.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to say, we have pressing matters elsewhere. Be sure we'll be back to exchange words at a later date.
Man, I could hear the quotation marks around words.
Words. You don't get any other response other than that. Other than that, the party is able to get back to camp. Skari, Rosero, Anston, and I don't believe the scribe followed you guys into this leg of the campaign. She would have got off this train much earlier. It's like, kill Elena? No! Alright, you guys are at camp, and you can rest through the evening. Do you guys want to do anything this night? Otherwise, we can start on the 9th.
I want Skari to identify the shield that Teek's got.
Okay.
The magic healing shield.
Skari will identify it. She goes through, the emotions, the visions, and after a few moments, she comes back to. She tells you it's an incredibly powerful shield. It is a shield +2.
Out of character. There you go, boys. You and Willow.
It's a what?
It's
Willow and JD.
It's a shield +2.
Holy shit. Actual loot? What is this?
Yeah, right?
Alright, so me and Teek are fighting to the death.
See, when I give you guys loot, everybody's like, it's cursed, don't touch it. I'm just like, but it's goodies.
The only bid I'm going to make for it is that I do have the Shield Master feat, but if anyone else needs it, then,
Well, I mean, Shield Master doesn't get any better or worse with a shield +2, does it?
No, it doesn't affect literally anything about shield except being able to.
Personally, if I have any input on this, I think Anston should use it because he still doesn't have plate mail. And as anybody,
we're gonna give a shield +2 to an NPC.
Anybody can use it except for Teek and Ogun. It's specifically warded against them.
And Anston is
shield? No,
and Anston is possessed by a demon, so no thank you.
No, I want it as a hat for my turtle form.
It's got specifically "fuck Teek" written in the back.
It's almost like God's sending a message. It's cursed, so when you wield it, Orb Protection turns off.
You're on thin ice there.
I'm kidding.
Nah, we should give it to Teek. If it's got "fuck Teek" written on the inside, she can actually flirt.
Well, to be honest, the shield. I mean, to be fair, the shield does add the AC bonus of the shield to dexterity throws. So the +2 would actually go straight into my reflex, which is my bad save.
JD, it's up to you. You and Willow, man.
I don't use shields, so.
Well, you should.
Rogues don't use shields.
You can't.
Yeah, everybody that can use the shield in the party is everybody except for Soulmane.
Practice would not.
Oh yeah, you don't benefit from unarmored defense. So Soulmane and Fractus.
Yeah, Practice would get worse if he put on that shit.
Yeah, if that counts.
Dual wielding ranger
it would get worse too.
True.
All right.
I forgot about that. So there's very
few
people.
Cut the shield in half. Teak gets a shield +1 and Ogun gets a shield. No, I'm kidding.
Ogun doesn't want a shield.
Oh, I don't get anything? Really?
If it makes
because you suck.
if it makes any difference, roleplay wise, it has a little Nagian symbols and artistry carved on it, which could make or break somebody for roleplay.
To be fair, in character, Willow would not make a bid for the shield. He would just trust that if Teak thought he needed it, that she would give it to him.
And out of character, Fractus could paint whatever symbols he wanted on top of
Penis.
Illigian.
If Fractus starts painting symbols on a shield that has like some historical significance and things like that, Ogun's gonna be kind of cheesed off about it.
That actually encourages Fractus to do just that.
I'm sure it does.
Teak will use it. It makes more tactical sense to put it on a healer in the party. The longer Teak stays up, the more she can do. Aura of Protection only applies if I'm conscious.
All right. So do you?
That being said, what kind of shield do you have, Teak? Can you loan?
Just a mundane shield. I can give it to whoever.
Anyways.
So if anybody wants to roll the shield, by all means.
Actually, Nykiran is going to take your old shield. She's a fighter.
Alright. She gets a mundane shield.
I mean, you joke, it's like 2 more AC, so... anyways, do you guys want to do anything else for, the 8th of Hunter before we move on to the 9th?
Soulmane would want to talk to Nykiran.
Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna switch, music, because we're at kind of like jovial music. So when you approach her, after you guys get back, she's kind of giving stories. She's giving stories about what happened inside of Westwind to the Blue Band, and she's got her fist up, and she's kind of like describing the fight with the Earthen Salamander as Ogun was holding it, and she's gonna stop as you come over and say, "Hey," just kind of like a small smile growing on her face.
How you feeling?
Looking,
Not every day a demon possesses your brain.
Looking back at the fortress, she's gonna say, "You know, when I came to this country, I didn't understand the language. I didn't understand what I was being charged with, but I made my way here, or I found my path here and survived. It's nice to know that there's still pieces of me I can recover if I want." But and she's gonna look back at the Blue Band and say, "I found a family that I care for now, and whatever pieces of me there are, I don't really care about them. This is what I care about now." Kind of stepping forward to you, and yeah, she's just gonna grab your hand as you're talking.
As one who also doesn't really care about their past that much, I can understand that. As long as you're safe now, that's all that matters to me. Though I will tell you, we will be back here. And that bitch will pay for what she did to you. I could give a damn about her boon, her gift, whatever. But you don't mess and control the people I care about like that. You and, well, your group are some of the first people I've actually genuinely had care for in my life. So I'll be damned if I let someone do what she did and get away with it.
Nykirin is going to just chuckle just a little bit. And then she's going to lean forward and kiss Soulmane and just say, how about you worry about surviving your jailers first and killing this Elena? And we can worry about that demon in the future. She's the least of my concerns.
That's fair. Plus side is I think they're less likely to stab me lately. Well, stab us. I think Teak actually likes you guys.
When you say that, Nykirin's gonna say, as much as I hate to admit it, they're growing on me too. What she did for Anston, I can only hold respect for her.
Yeah, that's something else we're gonna have to eventually address. How have you been feeling in regards to that lately, Anston?
They've been they're within earshot of you, but they've been trying to give you
I
guys
figured we
your
were
privacy.
still right by them.
No. They're still you guys are still just a couple feet from them, but they've been trying not to pay attention to your conversation. Anson's going to look up and say, well, I know the tomb is not destroyed. Sometimes it's almost like I hear it calling for me, but other than that, it follows me around occasionally, but I feel great. I'm ready to get back into combat. That's what that's what my original job was. Protecting these few.
I'll talk to the rest of them. See about getting you unshackled and a weapon. We could use another frontline fighter if I learned anything from the adventures down there. And Soulmane will say quietly to them, word of advice, don't mention the burn scars on Fractus or Teak to them.
Skari is going to get up and say, oh, I have just the thing for that. And she's going to walk away from the fire. If Teak and Fractus let her, Skari will make a medicine check on both of you.
Yeah, Practice would be okay with that.
Alright.
But his scars aren't that bad anymore thanks to Teak.
Yeah. Skari rolls medicines with +5. And I said, what did I set the DC for that at? 15? I don't know if I put it at hard or very hard.
You'd be the one to know.
Yeah. I'm going to put it at hard. She rolls an 18 for Fractus, and she rolls a 25 for Teak. Applying a salve to each of your faces, kind of tending to them and even peeling off bits of burnt skin of just it hurts, but it'll heal better, trust me, and that said, with Soulmane and Nykirin, was there anything else you wanted to say to her?
I think we're good. 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 I think we're good No, he would just hug her and then kind of sit with them as she's going over the events of everything that happened.
All right. Yeah,
Practice is going to do something very unlike him, and he's going to stop Scary, and he's going to tell her thank you.
Okay. So you're gonna tell Scary thank you, and you're gonna see her just like not know how to accept this, and then just like the smile grows across her face, and then she begins blushing. It's really just some things I picked up. It's nothing. As she finishes applying the ointment.
Eye roll intensifies.
Nobody thanks Scary ever. She just does. Yeah. So the blue band's gonna go to sleep having a good night. All right. To the 9th of Hunter, or anything else anybody wants to do.
Randomly teleport to Elena and stab her in the throat.
Did you guys have a scroll of teleportation and scrying to find her?
Yes, definitely. We have both of those things.
I don't have scrying, but I can see where she's been throughout the day.
Oh, the mirror of past memories. All right, so it is the 9th of it is the morning of the 9th of Hunter. You are camped outside the ramparts of Westwind. To your west is your next destination. There is the remnants of a small town below, of just the villagers and commoners that live within the reach of the fortress. Smoke is rising from the various battlefields in the distance that you guys can see to the southeast and the northeast. The party's direction is headed ideally west. So, options for you guys from here that you can make. So, obviously, there was information, and you guys are right here at Westwind, and I'll do this smaller so I don't... Here we go. You guys are in the Fortress of Westwind, and you found the secret library. You also found out that to access the library, you don't necessarily have to go through the fortress. You can find access to it via the riverway, and you guys learn that there is a librarian who has been updating, or at least keeping up with the records of the library. The current librarian is a person by the name of Rukai Rendell. And if you guys wanted to know that information that was burned, you know generally what it was. If there was somebody who knew specifically what it was, it would likely be that librarian. You guys can stop in like the small towns around here if you want, and try and ask to see if you can find them. In order to update the library, they'd have to live somewhere relatively close. Otherwise, your next location, and these are your two options. There is Dockensdale, which is a major port city in Ililnagai. If Elena is making any moves, that is a huge city, like basically like a New York or London sized city. If Elena's making moves in the region, perhaps there'd be somebody there who knows what she's doing. Otherwise, the Earthfire is in the on the edge of the Shattered Lands, north of Dawkinsdale.
So it seems like wanna be from where we are, it's quicker to go to the city, set up some sort of a base there, and from there venture out to the Earthfire.
Yes, your 3 options. As you are traveling, stop in the towns and look for and ask around for Urukai. Go to Dawkinsdale or go to the Earthfire. So, your vote is to go to Dawkinsdale and set up and then go to the Earthfire?
That sounds about right.
Alright.
Sounds probably most feasible and beneficial option.
Practice would vote to go to Dawkinsdale because he could find a lot more information.
I may hate cities, but it's smart.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to try to find the librarian, see if we can ascertain any information that was destroyed.
Yeah, something to do on the way.
Plus, we could kill 2 birds with 1 stone and have somebody in the city check out Night Kieran and
So, to the city?
Yeah. Okay, start moving.
So it would seem.
Oh, as we're going, Solmain will drop back to Teak for a second.
Yes?
I think it's time we let Anston join back in the fray. He seems ready.
Teak shrugs and says, all right. I'm a bit hesitant to do so, but...
You still have his book, aren't we?
Yes. It does, I do find it a little bit depressing to just watch him kind of wilt at the sidelines the whole while.
I can attest he's a good fighter.
But there's no doubt in my mind he is. It's just... there were concerns.
Understandable. Maybe when we get in Dawkinsdale we can get him properly armed. For now I can loan him my rapier that I'm not using. Does that sound acceptable to you?
Yep, sounds good.
I also want to say, Teak, 2 things. 1, you've changed my opinion on you.
I should hope so.
When this journey with you started, well, for lack of better phrasing, thought you were an incompetent leader.
Alright.
But that's shifted, especially after our last little venture. You do seem to care about the group, and I can respect that. Never been one for them, but I can respect when someone is genuinely looking out for the people they're with.
Well, I do try. I appreciate your kind words. They do my old heart quite a bit of good.
The second thing is, and this Solmain's gonna say to Teak stealthily, I will roll it if you want me to.
Go ahead. That nat 1.
Nice
You can't,
nat 1, bro.
Yeah, you can't fail a skill check, though, on a nat 1.
Fuck it, I will use my inspiration and roll it again.
That's fine at a 14. Only practice hears you.
You obviously underestimate my passive perception.
So he's going to whisper to Teak. When you get a chance, I would be happy if you could perform a ceremony for me. And Kieran. Once this is said and done.
Teak raises an eyebrow, but she's wearing a helmet, so... she nods and says, I'll make my way over when I get a chance.
Like I said, when this is said and done, I haven't told Kieran my plans of this yet, either. We're dealing with a lot of bullshit right now. With the whole...
Teak waggles her eyebrows, but once again, helmet.
Yeah. The whole
eyebrows.
Elena chasing is dampering these kind of things.
I think I understand.
Thank you.
Well, in exchange for your kind words, may I just say that you have proven yourself much more reliable than I first took you to be. Initially, and admittedly, this was prejudice on my part, I thought you would be just someone that we look up for information and then abandon on the wayside. But you have proven yourself a worthwhile ally, one who has good inside them yet.
Does Practice hear that particular portion of the conversation?
Teak is incapable of whispering.
Yeah, I was going to say, Practice hears all of the conversation.
So, Fractus is going to speak up and say, we'll make him an unrepentant yet. And then he turns to Soulmane in a very serious tone. If you're serious about equipping him, I have a longsword that probably is better than a flimsy rapier.
Anston has a greatsword, by the way. He's not the party confiscated it from him.
Oh, I thought we got rid of it.
No, we never got rid of it. We just never gave it back.
Oh, well,
he was kind of swinging it at people.
I didn't have it in my inventory, so I had no idea. Okay.
Oh, yeah. If you guys threw it away, then you threw it away.
I mean, yeah, I tied it to the carriage.
Oh, then it would still have been in the carriage.
Yeah. Just give me a moment.
Climbs in the carriage.
I thank you for your vote of confidence, Fractus, but when our mission is done, the repentant will probably be one of the last things on my mind.
To which Practice replies, so you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance for anything in this world. Good and bad chances are two different things. And your offer is a bad chance.
Practice just chuckles.
Alright. May I have the key for Anston's shackles so we can get him unhooked up? I can tell you by being thrown in shackles more than once, they chafe after a while.
Do you got the keys?
I definitely didn't walk away from the computer.
But
wireless headphones are amazing. Teak nods and says, "Aye."
Alright, and with that, Soulmane will take him and go unlock Anston's chains.
Alright.
Are we in an inn right now, or just walking?
No, you guys were camped out. I'm assuming you're walking westward.
I'm actually going to have Skari identified the 2 hand crossbows, or at least detect magic on the 2 hand crossbows that I got from the boss. Were those magical, or were they just mundane?
One hand crossbow will be a +1 crossbow. The other one was just, you know, the one she was using with her bonus action.
Alright, and the only other thing I would say while we're moving is I would ask Ogun to put a couple more healing words and detect magic into the Ring of Spell Storing. Another healing word and another detect magic.
Oh. We got to rest this last time, right?
Yes, yes. You guys just completed a long rest. It is the morning of the 9th of Hunter.
How many spells can you have in the Ring of Spell Storing?
This time, but I can put
5.
a cure wound. It takes a little longer to throw it out there. But it's
Yeah, if you want, we could. Teat could give you Aura of Vitality. It's better.
Problem is, it's still got a haste stored in it.
Oof.
So it needs to be 2 level 1s or a level 2.
I think Aura Vitality is level 2.
Aura Vitality is level 3. I could give you a healing spirit.
Healing Spirit, that wouldn't be too bad, having 2 of those things popping around.
I could give you the middle finger.
Yeah, but let's face it, no one cares about you anymore. People love healing spirit.
I would say either a healing spirit or a level 1 cure wounds and pass without a trace. Or pass without a trace, sorry.
Pass without trace is a 2. Couldn't fit.
If I just do pass without a trace, I could. Either one of those would probably be really, really good.
So there's either there's the choice of
healing
hour plus 10 to stealth, or everyone gains 10d6 worth of healing over a minute.
Wrong one. Ooh, there we go. Wrathful Smite is a d6 of psychic damage and a wisdom save versus.
I don't see us going into another combat too soon. As I said, that Brandon's rolling up stats right now.
Here's an idea.
Here's an idea. Goes silent.
He threw up Hunter's Mark.
Oh, well, if we're thinking about Hunter's Mark, then Divine Favor is better. Because you don't have to take a bonus action to switch the target.
No, that's actually a fair point. But then Hunter's Mark lasts up to an hour.
Sure. Divine Favor is easier on your action economy.
Well, again, Tommy's a rogue, so it doesn't exactly have an action economy.
My action economy is go and stab, run.
Yeah, cunning action allows him to dash, disengage, and hide as a bonus action.
I'm aware.
I would say
that's his action economy.
I would say let's do a pass without a trace for now.
Fair enough.
And if we feel we're going into a combat situation sooner or later, we can switch it out. Is it okay with you, Albert?
Yeah, sure. Just give me a moment.
It's 2:30 in the morning.
Alright, as the party's like walking and having this conversation, you guys are going to be able to travel through this small town below Westwind. And it is less of a town and more of just, you know, a collection of a few structures. A tavern for, you know, well, the tavern actually would be out of business now. There'd be no soldiers to keep it occupied. But there'd be an inn for travelers, you know, traveling across the border, staying in the region. A mill for the things that, you know, need to be built up at the fortress. And just a couple of houses where, you know, the villagers live. No more than like 6 or 7. And there are going to be a couple destroyed structures here.
Should we try to see if we can find any information on the librarian while we're passing through?
Definitely. Otherwise, we'd be in the woods.
If someone wants to do that, then they can, but... Moving. Only got so many hours a day.
I'll see what we can find here. And
I'll give you a hand.
While we're here, we might as well stock up on rations.
Yeah, you'd be able to trade those at the inn. Ear to the ground. You're in frequent contact with people in the segment of society that your chosen quarries move through. These people might be associated with the criminal underworld, the rough and tumble folk of the streets, or members of society. This connection comes in the form of a contact. In any city you visit, a person who provides this information about the people and places in the location.
Not quite a city, but I'm just seeing if I can find any type of contact that might know where the librarian is.
Okay, whose dog's dying in the background?
Yeah, it's my dad's beagle. He's being an asshole. Sorry.
Beagle doing beagle.
Before you
all right.
Wandering around town, you want some airborne eyes as well, or backup just in case?
Here in the town?
Yeah. I don't know how useful it'll be, but you know.
You know what? Sure. If you want to, that sounds like a great idea.
All right. What do you think is best, flying or crawling?
Oh. I have no idea, Ogun. I'm gonna leave that to you.
Oh, you can finally fly, huh?
Yeah. Kind of.
You want
try it
it?
out, honestly.
If you want to test your wings, go right ahead, man.
All right. Brandon, let's say a critter native to the area, like, you know, just type of bird or something that's, like, are there crows that are occasionally domesticated or something like that?
I mean, they're going to be messenger hawks occasionally flying over the border. You can definitely see, yeah, definitely any type of scavenger bird. Falcons are native to all of Ardersarai. Well, not native, but they're all around. It's a tradition in the company for young children to raise falcons and then release them into the wild as like a coming to age ceremony. So that said, all over the country you can find falcons of like all different breeds, just that have kind of inhabited areas.
What time of day is it?
It is the morning of the 9th of Hunter.
Okay. Yeah, a falcon sounds like a good choice then.
Alright, Falcon Ogun, how high up do you fly?
Not terribly, like enough to be able to see and hear whatever practice is up to. Maybe, I don't know what their I mean, their senses seem to be a little bit superior, so well, their sight is
40 feet?
Say 15 feet, something like
that.
Oh,
15 feet? Okay.
Practice, or Ogun sees practice, play card games and talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, he's just listening in, and like, if somebody's maybe paying a little too much potentially undesirable attention to practice. He'll keep an eye on that, or you know, if there's trouble or whatever, he'll drop in. But so he's just getting used to flying, and also being available just in case anything is necessary. Listening in.
All right. So, Practice is going to interact with a few people in this town, some young kids, some mill workers, the innkeep, and kind of get an ear for what's going on. You're going to know that the innkeeper is going to have pretty much most of the information on who's passing in and out of town. But asking about Rukai, she is a pretty well-known figure in the town, as she comes from a family that's lived here for quite some time. She's the only one that bears the name, and they point you to a house that you pass by coming into the village, close to the mill, along the riverside.
Well, looks like Practice is going to signal to Ogun. Tells him to nod if he heard everything. Did he hear everything?
Yeah, Soulmane and Ogun are with you. That was about over the course of like a half hour of practice, just
Gotcha.
like walking around town and interacting with people.
Guess it's time to visit the librarian, boys.
Now, I'm assuming, you didn't give out that information when you were looking for her, of just like, we're looking for somebody in charge of a secret library.
Yeah, it was very in passing, it wasn't like...
Yeah.
Do I need to roll any type of...
No, you
check?
don't. Alright. Headed to the house. This is a pretty nice size, like Borderlands townhouse. It's got a out of all the houses like in this area, there's a little bit of a forest growing along the Alianga River. And out of these houses, it's got some yard space, and it's got a half stone wall around it. And it is two stories, and kind of just built into this tree line that goes to the mill. Stepping into the yard and to the doorway. Wood that's in this region. I feel when you get about this close to the water, this is when you're looking at light brown willows and stuff. So, yeah, it's a heavy light brown door in front of you.
More willows?
Yeah.
Brothers.
Any wisps?
Not in the daytime.
We disowned them years ago.
Does
no.
Practice Practice, Soulmane, and Ogun. You guys are the three. Most of your party's pretty stealthy. Half of your party's stealthy.
I'm on an elk.
Yeah.
I can make everyone stealthier.
Yeah, minus Alward, you guys are the stealthiest individuals of the party. Do you want to like knock on the door, or do you want to like sneak in, or look around, or anything like that?
Oh, I think the knocking on the door is the best approach.
All right. This is the borderland region of Arder Sarai, and as you get closer and closer to the border of the Lilnagai, the weather, just gets progressively warmer and more pleasant. And so, opening the door, you guys don't, even though it is the end of winter, you don't need those heavy those heavy traveler's clothes or anything of that nature. But opening the door, there's going to be a woman dressed in light merchant's robes, and she's going to look at everybody, or look at the two of you there, and look side to side and say, "Well, how can I help you?"
She have merchant? You said merchant robes? Does she have
yes.
a pendant?
No, she does not.
Is she supposed to be a merchant at all, or you just mentioned merchant robes as in? That's just the flavor of the robes?
You would have picked up on your information from her that she was some type of merchant.
Fractus is going to show her the ruby pendant bling that he has around his neck. And he's like, "Greetings, neighbor. I hear you're somebody that offers trade."
And she's going to look at it and say, "Oh, go ahead."
Before you get too far, Ogun, what are you doing specifically?
He's probably perched on a tree nearby, just in earshot. I mean, if you want to call him down or whatever, you can.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead, friend.
Yada yada yada. Regional politics. No, I'm kidding. She's going to like respond to that and just say, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't trade with the Ruby Alliance. If you want to buy any of my metals, you have to go to Leslie in Low Water Crossing to the north."
And Fractus smiles, says, "Well, that's good. Good thing I aren't really part of the Ruby Alliance." And he takes off the necklace and puts it in his pouch. And Fractus smiles and waves over to Ogun.
He'll fly down, land on Fractus's shoulder.
And she's going to laugh just a little bit and say, "You kept your falcon? Is that a little childish?"
Fractus laughs and says, "Well, this one's a little bit special. Ogun, if you this is the lady, Ogun. If you wouldn't mind, we should discuss what information we need, and you're our best scholar."
Falcon kind of shrugs, leaps off, and he goes ahead and changes back to his uniform. Or half of it, anyways.
And she's going to go wide and say, "Druidic magic? Nobody does that around these parts here."
Not from around here. Study.
Fractus is then going to start looking around to see if anybody is paying attention to us.
Yeah, looking around. There, of course, the people you talk to. Like, this is such a small village. The other houses, people are only going to be able to see your head. The half stone wall around this gives you a moderate amount of privacy. But, you know, just the few people going about their business outside would be able to see, like, your head and, you know, her standing in the doorway and Soulmane standing next to you.
Perhaps we should take this conversation inside.
Probably smart. Lots of watchers, no threats, but lots of watchers.
And we wouldn't want her looking up to her side business to be discussed out in public.
It almost feels like a threat. And she's
the threat comes not from us, but from the rest.
And she's at Soulmane's comment. She's gonna like put her hand on the frame of the door and say, "I'm gonna need to know who you are before I let you in my house. We're in the middle of a border war. So Yes's army is only a half a day's march from here.
Fractus says, no need to get your knickers in a bunch. We are the unrepentant.
Ah, he is part of the unrepentant. I am Ogun Three Strike, maddest wolf, Dawn Eye, son of Viola Thrice Dead, first wind of Anga Yandar. I'm also a scholar who studied in the Liligai. We have...
I'm just along for the ride.
Ride and some very dangerous beings we are trying to corral.
She's gonna move her hand from the door, allowing the party to come inside if you want. And she's gonna say, you're here about that damn library. I don't know where the rumor came from, but it doesn't exist.
It exists.
Yeah.
We know it exists.
Yeah, it is definitely a lie.
We know it's a lie because we just came from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I roll an inside check.
Once he's inside, Ogun pulls out the book.
Demon.
Yeah, that's the lie.
Oof. She's going to like look at the book in surprise and say, that's not yours. I need to take that back."
To what? The imaginary library?
And she's going to say, "Well, clearly you know." And she's just going to shrug and say, "It's been my family's responsibility to keep up with that place. I don't even know why I still go back there." And she's going to say, "But nonetheless, those tomes are, I don't know, sacred?"
Yes, and the place where they were stored was secret, but also kind of inhabited by a demon, so best not to be there in some cases.
She nods and says, I haven't been back there in weeks, since I heard those cultists moved in."
Yeah, the cultists are worshipping a demon, and the demon is quite the nasty.
If it helps, any of the cultists are all dead? I believe she said we killed all of the other ones.
Yeah, she'll just make more. The demon.
Eventually.
So.
Threats. She's gonna gesture for the book and say, "Well, I'll hire some adventurers to take it back."
That's not to for a little while at least. And if for the sake of being proper and things goes, I'd like to check it out.
And she is going to laugh and say, "God, nobody's checked out anything from that place in hundreds of years."
Well, nobody got to peruse the volumes and see what was interesting.
And she's going to nod and say, "Well, it's part of the deal. You, if you want it, you can check it out. Where can I find you?"
On the wind and over the hills, unfortunately. I haven't been in one place for more than a night or three since I was in school. Consider the college to be my point of contact.
And she's going to say, "And I will need your name, if you'll give me a second." And she is going to head upstairs. And before she does, she's going to look back and say, "It's brisk outside. Do you want any tea or anything?"
Tea would be lovely.
And she's going to go upstairs, come back downstairs, and she's going to put a contract on the table for Ogun to sign. And the quill there almost seems like the quill is less of a quill or a pen and more of like a sharp like letter opener on the point. and she's going to say, just sign in blood, if you will. And she's going to go to the kitchen and start putting on tea.
You know, blood in BD.
You know.
Is that normal procedure for stuff like this?
And she's going to nod and say, yeah, my family's under contract for that library. Anything taken out of it is a deal made with us.
Fair enough. So, Brandon, the logs and stuff that Ogun saw previously, thinking back, was that probably written in blood?
No, the logs were not in blood.
Okay. I guess he didn't actually find one of the checkout log or the actual checkout books then.
Yeah. Looking at this, Ogun can properly just reading through the terms and conditions. If the book is destroyed or he doesn't return it, in like a year's time, then a greater devil is going to come after him.
Okay. Well, they take their late seriously, don't they?
And she shrugs and says, "It's not my library, not my policy."
Understood.
Practice goes, it's going to need to be a little bit longer than that.
What, a year?
Yes.
I'll make notes if I need it for longer than that. The other question is, is returning it to her here sufficient? I mean, or returning it to the library is sufficient, because when we go back and deal with the demon, then that'll be clear. We can just drop it off in the library. It'll be fine, assuming that that's fine, and she doesn't have to be told about it.
She probably should be told about it.
Probably. So,
yeah.
Does everything else seem like it's above board? And
yeah, it's just bring back the book, or the devil that owns the library is going to come after you.
All right.
Satan.
He's thinking like, just how bad is a devil like that?
Oh, go ahead.
Fractus is gonna say, what is with this place and demons and devils? Damn it.
If I...
Dirty infidels.
Start storing a lot of serious magic and it'll attract one, and making deals with the other can be the safest route.
As she's coming back in with the hot drinks for everybody, she's going to say, ancient Ardorians got into war with the extraplaners, as some would call them. But even among the extraplaners, there were wars and contests between them. Ancient mages made deals with devils or demons to get the upper hand on the other. The devil that owns that library gave the Calgaran the knowledge to seal away the demon plaguing these lands.
Now we're looking to re-implement that, because if it was the same demon, she's loose again. Because the Earthfire was destroyed. That's a whole other story.
She's the one the cultists are worshipping.
Yep.
Rukai nods and says, "Yeah, I've heard such a thing, but as it stands right now, I've been living in the region. People are coming and paying homage to her, but if she's smart, I believe Ira was her name.
Irela.
And she nods and she says she won't step foot out of Westwind as long as Soyesa's crusading through the countrysides."
Well, hopefully that's long enough for us to get back in there and deal with her.
Or at least someone.
She nods and says, "When demons and devils roam this world, the the Four Ascended weren't a thing yet. They didn't have to deal with powerful deities involved in the affairs of mortals. And she's gonna look, or she's gonna put down the drinks, and say, "So, this is why you went to this is why you went to the library to get information on." She's gonna look at the book and say, "In Earthfire."
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard recently, but the Earthfire in Order Sarai is gone dark.
She's gonna nod and say, "Yeah, dark's not the word given to me. The one I heard was disappeared, along with the Eye of the Mountain himself."
It was stolen.
Stolen is maybe a little bit closer to the truth as far as the Earthfire goes. Eye of the Mountain, I don't actually know.
We do know what happened to him, Ogun.
I mean,
remember?
I'll believe it when I see it kind of situation. I don't think anybody's actually seen a corpse. I didn't.
No, he's... You seem like you're pretty good at discretion, yes?
Quiet as quiet does.
I meant her.
Oh.
You're looking at Rugai?
Yeah.
She's gonna say, I'm a cursed werewolf serving a devil, protecting a secret library. Secrets are my job.
Well, the second part of that I'm just going to ignore right now. Or the first part of that, excuse me. The Eye of the Mountain is currently with us. Supposedly.
Practice says, why do all the merchants have to be werewolves?
Look, I'm not gonna suggest we kill this one right now, so we'll just ignore that part.
Werewolves are fine for as long as they're not in the business of...
yeah, saying that out loud, she's gonna say, don't worry, I'm perfectly fine. I only go demonic and kill everybody if I abandon my posts.
That's good. We had to deal with some slaving werewolves in a few towns over. Regardless, the Eye of the Mountain supposedly has been trapped inside of some kind of crystal. And we currently have, I believe. Practice, you have it, don't you?
Practice gets cagey and goes, I may.
She's gonna look a little bit surprised and say, maybe I should have paid more attention when I was reading through those books in Westwind. And looking at Practice, she's gonna say, can I see it?
Practice pulls out the...
Hold on. Before we allow that, there is a reason we came to you besides wanting to rent a book. If you agree to answer our questions to the best of your abilities, we can allow you to take a look.
So, give me 1 second. I need to roll how religious she is and how much she cares about freeing the Eye of the Mountain.
He's rolling initiative.
Yeah, roll me initiative. No. She's she's gonna shrug and say, "Look, I was just trying to help you. As long as you bring back that book, I could care less about what you do."
I tried. We still do have some questions, but if you want practice, go ahead.
Practice pulls out the emerald and shows.
She's going to take it. And she's going to inspect it, and she'll look it over, and you guys see her like turn it in her hand several times, then take and tap it against the table that you guys are sitting around pretty hard, and look at it closely, and say, "Do you know the spell?"
I personally don't. Unfortunately, my magic is next to nothing. Ogun would be.
What is she looking for, Brandon?
What spells cast on this gemstone? And
he knows that, so no.
Yeah. And she's going to say, there are spells that can trap souls, trap individuals, imprison them. But the issue with doing something like that, a powerful caster can only do something like that once to somebody. That's why the method for trapping demons, the knowledge was traded for that. Somebody could have as many of those prisons up as they wanted.
Do you know of a way to reverse it?
She's gonna shrug and say, if it's simply a magic jar or something of that nature, dispelling it should do perfectly fine. If it's something more powerful, like imprisonment, she's gonna look northwards to the fortress, and she's gonna say, you'd have to bargain for its dispelment. I don't think there's any mortal capable of casting magic that powerful. Mechanically, she informs you that if it's imprisonment, it needs to be dispel magic in a 9th level slot, or remove curse in a 9th level slot.
I just got remove curse. I do not have 9th level slots.
Yeah, that's the tricky bit. So
you know who's got one per day?
I try it. If it's imprisonment and I try to dispel it, then it just won't work. It's not gonna kill the eye of the mountain.
Who's got it one per day?
Yeah, it won't work.
Alright.
She
smashed
Ira Alla has 1 9th level per day.
He really wants us to go back to her.
No, I was just saying, you got options. Ogun cast Dispel Magic on it?
I'm trying to see if I actually have that one loaded up, and I don't think I do.
I mean, you're a druid, so you can literally just say, oh, by the way, I have it.
I have it.
I thought I had to pick
you have access to all the spells on your
which
spell
ones I
list. It's just a matter of which ones you prepare at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
I have a 9th level slot.
That's what I'm saying. I know I can do that tomorrow, but no, I actually do have it loaded up, so I'm going to let it rip.
All right, roll me a.
Have some respect. He's not.
Go ahead and roll me an ability check and add your wisdom to it.
20.
I don't have anything to help him with this. Do you practice?
Oh, wait a second.
I have inspiration that I can give him if he fucks up.
I think I have. Ooh.
So
would this count as a wisdom check?
It is a it would be a wisdom check. It's an ability check plus your spell casting ability.
Okay. Excellent. So wisdom bonus and proficiency and
you don't get your proficiency to it.
Okay. So he's gonna cast I'm assuming that this actually is supposed to work this way. Enhance ability first, since I have that loaded up.
Okay.
Specifically for Owl's Wisdom, so I have advantage on Wisdom checks.
Okay.
And let me double check one more thing, because I know one of my items will give me a bonus for ability checks. I'm not sure both of them will. I think it's just saves. Yes, one for ability. Okay.
And if I had to make a suggestion,
yeah,
use your highest spell slot you can.
Yeah, I'm throwing it forward. What does that actually do for me, though, in this case? Because if it's... I think it's...
Essentially, Dispel Magic is... If you cast it at its base level, which is a 3rd level spell slot, you can automatically dispel any spells up to that.
Right, yeah, but...
Unless you cast Dispel Magic at a high level spell slot.
Yeah, but since we need a 9th level slot, it doesn't make a difference.
We don't know that yet.
Wait, Imprisonment. You physically can't roll to dispel Imprisonment with Dispel Magic unless you're using a 9th level spot.
Right, but if it's the other one, what level is that?
We don't know. So if you do a 4th level, I think it'll lower the DC as well.
Okay, hang on a sec. So I'm going to check real quick. Brandon, would it actually help me to use the 4th level slot?
With Dispel Magic, no. If you're rolling against it, you're rolling against it, trying to beat the 10 plus the spells level.
Oh, I thought it lowered the DC. Sorry, that was my fault.
Yeah, it automatically works on anything. It automatically works on anything. Yeah, below. So did Fractus want to grant inspiration before I tell you guys the results of that roll?
And what was the inspiration's just what?
It'll give you advantage, which you already have.
Yeah, I already have advantage, so there's no point.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's my rolls. Nat 20. Booyah.
25.
Alright, so it's going to be... Yeah, so on the 25, you would cast Dispel Magic on this, like, just... and charming your incantation all over it, you know, having this, like, magical essence just, like, envelop this gem, and then just, like, as Dispel Magic does, it just tries to dissipate it and dissolve it, and does so, and nothing changes on the gemstone. It almost seems like it resists it. Rukai is going to pick it up and say, yep, definitely some sort of imprisonment, hitting it against the table again.
Oh, that was a waste of time.
It was worth a shot.
Well, we did get some information, I guess.
And she's going to say, how much do you want for this gemstone?
I'm not trading that away.
Yeah.
That's a person. So if you want that, you're thinking slavery of a powerful druid, and I will string your entrails from one end of this town to the other before I let you do that.
She's gonna look mortified and say, no, I just wanted to trade him for my freedom.
No, that's still slavery. I don't think so. I do want you to be free, but I'm not trading someone else's freedom for it. Unless they are going into that willingly.
So
now,
why are you cursed?
Out here where I could talk to him, and he said, sure, I'll do it. Then sure, yeah, go for it. It's fine.
So why are you cursed?
And she's gonna say it's a family curse. Every member of my family, one of us has to stay and guard this library. It's part of the deal made years ago with the devil that came to call these lands home.
So you could have kids, right?
She nods and says, and they'll inherit it.
Yeah. But does that mean you're out, or does that mean you're stuck with it too, or they're stuck with it too?
And she's gonna say, do you see my parents?
What? Oh, well, no, but I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, and she's gonna say, I can leave.
Okay. You want some help with that?
And she's going to look like where she was like pleasantly entertaining. Yeah, she's gonna just be like, all right, you can leave now. I'm not passing this on to anybody else.
All right. No. It's just an offer. You don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
My friend's joke aside, part of the section...
Like, he wasn't kidding, but...
I'm trying to pass it off as you were.
About it either.
Part of the section of the library was destroyed. Do you happen to know what was written in those books?
You probably want to be more specific than that.
It was the section dealing with the Earthfires themselves.
She's going to say, I went there a few weeks after Westwind fell, just to make sure the library still stood. And when I heard of events I had to keep up with. That said, I know what section you're referring to. It's unfortunate, but that's one of the reasons why we don't give out information on it much anymore. People can't properly handle that sort of knowledge.
Well, we believe the person who did that, attacked Westwind, did that to the Eye of the Mountain and took the Earthfire, are all one and the same. In fact, better than believe it, we know it for a fact. And we believe she's going to be doing it to another one, so we're trying to get a leg up on her to stop that from happening.
She's going to nod and say, the information there wasn't the information in that section wasn't anything specific. It's information that could be found in any Athenaeum that's well versed in religious lore. I believe it was instances of mortals interacting with gods. Not an uncommon thing these days when you can go and talk to the Four Ascended.
Fair point, but then why are they destroying it? It just seems a little odd. Like there's got to be something more important going on there, or maybe they're just stupid. I don't put it past anybody to just be stupid. But...
she's going to say, well, the new gods, the Meandeth, the Four Ascended, they all happily wear their faces. Amira was titled the World Walker. The old gods, though, they're more curious individuals. Aulilia loved her creations, and the servants of Nothrild were jealous of them. They historically have manipulated humanity, each for their own benefits or losses. But that said, on occasion they'd come to the world bearing the same identity. They had personas that they liked.
And did those books discuss those personas?
And she's gonna nod and say, a few of them did. A couple that popped up regularly.
And what might those be? Do you remember?
She's going to shrug and say Renaulta's the worst offender of her identities. She loves taking the form of a playful child, playing tricks on soldiers and outlanders outside of cities, traveling the roads. And she's going to say, I believe her name was Alethea.
What was that name?
Alethea.
Okay, that's important. Renata disguises as Alethea.
And then she's going to say, Daelady, he's significantly harder to pin down. When he revealed himself to mortals, he often did it in a as a form of an advisor. He's never been the center of a conflict, but he's always been the one behind great kings. And she's going to say, I believe the identities of 2 wars caused by someone in the Waking Era was a man by the name of Caesanaris. Both different accounts of Caesanaris, but I believe reading that in those logs that those were his identities. And she's going to say, it's strange when they take those forms, according to those books and sages of the past. When they come into the world as a form of a mortal, they're imperceptible. But taking on our form limits the scope of knowledge that they have access to. Not only are they imperceptible, but they act like us. Sometimes even getting wholly engaged in our affairs. And she's gonna shake her head and say, unfortunately, that's one of the areas that I'm least read in. There are several more accounts, but I doubt I could recall them accurately.
What do you two think?
Well, wasn't really my area of study, but Brandon, is there anything that'd be reasonable to roll for that, or is that like he's just not going to know anything about that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, this is, it's weird lore, because it's no secret that, you know, the gods interact with mortals regularly. But, you know, if a god wants to hide interacting with a mortal, you know, it's not going to be common, knowledge. Of just, like, there are historical moments of, you know, gods, like, appearing and saying, do my bidding. But all the moments of them...
Not going at that point.
Yeah.
Is there a, say, colleague back from the college or somebody that he knows of that studies that? I mean, honestly, it's not impactful for what they're trying to do unless they want to get it, or unless we need to get a god on our side for a little while.
Super handy. Teak rolls religion.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. I know something.
But I don't think you're here.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Teak here?
Nope.
Probably not.
I would like you to know, this is the one time in the entire campaign Teak has rolled religion and killed it.
And I'm not even there.
Save the rolls. Ogun will tell him about it later. Hey, you know a lot about religion. Here's what the thing is.
Sometimes.
Hey, you went to Sunday school.
Hey, did you fall asleep during those sermons?
Mm-hmm.
What? No, why? That defeats the purpose of being.
Yeah, but as far as colleagues, Ogun would know. So one of the people you know, Dila Winrona, the person in charge of your university, was around for the discovery of arcane magic. She would likely have like some insight in this area. Problems being she's on the other side of the continent.
Yeah, well, that'll slow him down a little
Does
bit.
Does he even know that she's been discovered yet? Or been found yet?
Oh, yeah. At this point, she returned on the 34th of Priestess. It is now the 8th of Hunter. At the, like about halfway through this week is about when all the messenger hawks would have been arriving at all the nations. Knowledge every group is aware of. Dila Winrona's returned to the front of the world, but it's also kind of overshadowed by the fact that a Shatterer by the name of Olivia has returned to the world. Olivia is responsible for 2 events that caused the caused the ascension of 2 ascended gods. So, I mean, it's like, yay, Dila's back. Oh no, that's awful. She can go away. You know?
Weird cousin is back.
Yeah, Rukai is going to, she's going to take the contract Ogun signed and start folding it up, and she's going to say, well, was there anything else I could be of help with?
No, you've been a great help. I appreciate you.
And she's going to look again at Fractus and say, on hand, I could pay up to 10,000 gold for that stone.
Sorry, not for sale. Now, if I find some asshole that needs to be imprisoned and happen to have him in a gym, I will totally trade you for that.
Fractus,
though, not for sale.
Fractus just smirks at her and said, I thought you didn't trade with the Ruby Alliance, and just smiles.
You said you weren't Ruby Alliance.
And then he goes, but for your trouble, and he puts down 10 gold pieces.
On the table? All right.
Yeah, on the table.
And yeah, she'll say, well, if you stay in town for the day, one of the hunters caught a boar that I'm going to cook up for everybody. Trade's been going well now that Soyesa's secured the river.
I can go for some roast boar.
This evening.
I'm afraid we can't stick around.
Yeah, that's true.
We appreciate the offer.
Maybe when I come back to bring back the book.
And who knows, maybe we can help each other out down the road. And Frank just makes a pointed look at Ogun and then her.
Bring that demon you can trade for something. I don't know. It'd be great.
Yeah, and she's going to say, my master would be able to break the spell on that gem. If you ever want to seek her out, come back and find me.
Oh wait, hang on. What kind of deal do you think would take to do that?
And she's going to say she's a devil of equal power of Fianiraala. They were rivals.
Well, I'm not saying it's not possible. I believe she's probably capable of doing it. I'm asking, what do you think she's going to ask in trade? Or would she just do it because it's hilarious and would piss off the other one?
She's going to say she would do it because she lives here. This country's her home.
Okay. Sounds like a bit of a side trip. We are trying to make good time here, but hypothetically, how can we do this?
She says, well, if you give me the stone, I would take it to her. She lives in the capital. And in turn, I believe she'd reward me by freeing me.
Who's your master?
See, the taking the stone to her is the part where I'm not so sure that he would actually be free at the end of that whole exchange. That's the part I'm not comfortable with. Now, if you say, I'm going to take the stone to her and get him free, then okay, yeah, let's do that.
Who's your master?
She's gonna say that's not information I can just trade. For that, for that, she'd like her identity protected. It took some time for history to forget about her. I have contracts for it upstairs, but I don't advise signing them.
See, if I had, say, a contract in hand saying that you would deliver the stone to her and he would be free at the end of it, otherwise you're in a massive amount of trouble, besides me coming after you, which is a lot of trouble, but that I would consider.
Yeah, and when you suggest that, she's going to say, ooh, she does love contracts.
Yeah.
And
the main thing, he's free at the end, and you can, honestly, your state at the end of it, I don't like slavery, I would like everyone to be free, yourself included, as long as you maintain a reasonable balance with your werewolfing, and you don't go into slave trading and things like that, but I do want the Eye of the Mountain free. Being stuck in a rock is a shitty way to, get stuck with your existence.
And she's gonna nod and say, well, there's nothing left for me in this town as long as Thean Ira, because she wouldn't know her full name, as long as Ira still roams those roams the ruins of Westwind, I can't go in there and do my duty. But yes, I'll draw up that contract if you'll agree to it.
Practice, do you see any bad pitfalls with this plan? Because it seems like it's a pretty good deal all the way around.
I see a bunch of pitfalls with this plan, but it is a good... we could definitely use the help with the Eye of the Mountain.
Yeah. And how about you put in some particulars on this contract to try to eliminate some of those? You're a smart guy. I think you can handle it.
Yeah. Would I know how to do that, Brandon?
Well, how about this? She'll draw up a preliminary version of the contract, showing you guys the one of the other ones she has, and she's just going to bring her whole black chest down here. And like in this, you guys are going to see all of these rows of parchments in different areas of them. And each of these sheets, like the one with Ogun, it has a burned seal on it. And I actually don't have this person's seal drawn up now, but I can in the future. It's got a burned seal on it, and she's going to pull out one, and the one specifically relating to service and identity, and say, well, these will need to be implemented here, and I think, to ensure what you want, we can implement this. And she's got a silver, she's got another one of those silver pins Well, this one's silver. The other one was just metal. Specifically for her, for drawing her own blood.
Brandon, can I do an
Yes.
investigation on the symbols, on the stamps?
Yeah, go ahead.
See if I can discern who their make is for.
Go ahead.
28.
Yeah, looking at this, it's going to be super high, and Soulmane is going to think that he can place this, especially last time he went through the capital, but he doesn't really keep up with politics that much. But you think it's definitely somebody important in Ardor Serai, or in the capital of Ardor.
One of the higher ups.
Yeah. That said, she's going to say she's going to, like, after you guys get this preliminary contract drawn up, the terms will be, you will trust the gemstone in her care, believing that inside of it is the eye of the mountain, and she is to deliver it to her master, and that the spell binding him is to be broken. And doing so, she hopes to, curry favor. And then, obviously, you guys hope to get the Eye of the Mountain free. And you can learn who the person is, so long as you never speak the information to another living soul who is not under her mark or her binding. And if you do, you lose your ability to speak permanently.
If you guys are reluctant to sign this, I will. Call it guilt for getting him involved in this mess.
All right.
Sounds fair either way.
She'll draw up the contract with her blood, and then obviously hand the other pen to Soulmane to sign.
Do you have any objections to this practice?
It's a means to an end. I probably wouldn't tell Teak about this.
We can tell her we got it taken care of.
Is there a time frame on this? Like how long she has to do this? To get the eye of the mountain out?
She was willing to pay you guys 10,000 gold for that stone. Whatever it is, it seems pretty urgent to her.
Yeah.
Hogan doesn't give a shit about the gold because...
No, I'm just saying that's a lot of money for something. So if you're talking about time frame, like, you can conjecture pretty quick.
If this is...
Here's the thing. She's going to get herself free as quickly as possible. He believes that. He does not necessarily believe she's going to get the Eye of the Mountain free quickly. That could be, oh yeah, she's free, and the rock with the Eye of the Mountain sits on somebody's shelf for the next 20 years, which he's not okay with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the part. He's like, wait a minute. Is that in the contract? He's double checking.
It's Soulmane's contract. There's not a time limit on it.
Soulmane wants to sign it, that's fine. And he may have to say, like, well, if you don't get this done in the near future, I'm coming after you as soon as I deal with, if I haven't dealt with Elena already or whatever.
Soulmane will just look at her and say, can we have an addendum on here stating when the Eye of the Mountain is free, we'll be contacted to make sure that it's been done.
She nods.
Done expeditiously.
Yeah, she nods and says, "Sure, I'll have somebody send you a sending."
How's that, Ogun?
I don't care about the sending. I care about when it gets done. If it's 20 years hence, she could still do a sending.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way we can put a time frame that the Eye of the Mountain needs to be freed by?
Let's see. It is a travel to the capital from here.
It's 5 hexes.
2, 3. It would be 4 hexes at the most.
Well, I overestimate.
Yeah, so that is
6 days.
Yeah, gonna be 6 days on foot. So she's gonna say by 5th day at next week would be the latest I make it there, unless I get ambushed by brigands on the road, which happens in this region, unfortunately.
Aren't we going about the same way for at least part of that?
Yeah, I think we are going to the capital.
No, we're going the complete opposite direction.
Yeah, so I'll show you.
Harder is like here.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Your path is down there. If you look to the map to the right, her path would be in red from there.
Okay.
So,
for point of reference, Low Water Crossing is right here. That's where Group 1 was brigands at and started ambushing caravans on the road.
So, how about 2 weeks? 2 full weeks.
She nods and she's gonna add it, pricking herself again and writing in blood.
Does that put you at ease, Ogun?
It does.
Alright. Soulmane will sign it.
Alright, she signs it also and gestures for the gym. Soulmane is going to hear this name just kind of whispering in the back of his head. And I, never said this out loud because there's only been one devil that's had their name said out loud.
I'll send it to him in a private message.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Okay, I am sending it to you now. Let's see. How do I whisper things as a GM on here?
You could send it on Discord if you want, make it a little easier.
If you're going to do it in Roll20, it's just /W and then the player name.
Soulmane, here's a word whispered in the back of his mind. And that is it.
Okay. That's going in the notes.
And
Hopefully with big letters.
Yeah. And she's going to say the part about not sharing the identity
I
will
won't
stand
say
forever,
anything.
but as soon as he's free, then hopefully we'll both be free. And she's gonna go upstairs and start packing, and she's gonna say, "You wouldn't be looking for some place to stay in Westland for a few days?"
Probably not.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, and she's gonna say, "Well, I was gonna let you rent my home, but otherwise," and it almost seems like she's been ready for this day. She comes out with an adventurer's satchel, some heavy traveling robes, a couple tomes, and what weapon does she use? A scimitar at her waist, and she seems almost like packed and ready to go. And she's gonna say, "All right, finish your drinks and leave." I mean, thank you. I hope that I've been helpful in your pursuit of knowledge, but I've got something exciting to take care of.
We hope we've been helpful in your escape in our pursuit of knowledge.
She nods, and she's going to say, "Oh, you've done more for me than you can possibly imagine," with a huge smile on her face.
Good journeys to you.
Alright, gentlemen, we should probably meet back up with the rest of the group.
Yep.
If I'm gone too long, Teak thinks...
Smooth.
If I'm gone too long, Teak tends to think I ran away.
Oh, he knows you didn't run away. I'm here. I'd bring you back in my teeth if you tried to do that. You know that.
Alright,
They return to find a bloodbath.
yeah, the whole town's been slain.
Where are they?
I didn't kill anyone. Yet. I swear.
On the way back, Practice is gonna look at Ogun and go, you know, she didn't say no.
No, she just got all offended about it.
But she didn't say no.
Yes, but that doesn't, well, it's a moot point right now because she's not selling her kids off into this particular curse and slavery and things.
But she didn't say no.
I have to agree with him, Ogun. You know, you change into animals on a regular basis. She's a werewolf. It's almost like a match made in the upper planes.
Yeah, but you see, you know, sometimes you get with the werewolf and they get a little bitey, and that's a problem.
I know for a fact you get bitey.
Nothing but a cure disease won't fix.
Well, the cure disease part, and you know nothing about my habits.
As the party is like walking, you guys are back together. This is not a very big town. You are back together with the rest of your party members, waiting with the carriage, and Teak and Willow and Bronwyn and Allward and Kara, and then the blue band.
Practice is going to go to Teak and say, it was very productive. Ogun, tell him what you learned about the library.
Oh gosh, there's a lot.
Will you do that? I will step away from him because I got to do something.
Oh, he was listening. Ogun just relays the whole thing.
All right.
No real embellishment or anything like that. So.
Yeah, the party learns the identity of several, or the secret identities of several gods, and then also the information about that gemstone they had was the Sage of Ardor, the Eye of the Mountain, and was there anything else she told you guys? Oh, that the library belongs to a demon who was basically selling information to mortals to trap devils. Or belongs to devils who is selling information to mortals to trap demons.
Right. Oh, and also the bit about, yeah, and then there's these gods, you know, the gods will come down and roam the earth, but sometimes they will take human guises and blah, 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 so that Teak actually gets her thing she rolled for there. Gets that information brought up.
And what's Teak trying to recall on that? I'll allow you to keep that roll, JD, if Teak's trying to recall anything specifically. JD's dead.
Yeah, I'm having difficulties. I keep on cutting in and out. Let me try
Yeah, it's not just you. I've got Discord for some reason for me. I've got... there we go. I'm back at green. I clicked into a different channel and came back. Anthony, I'm getting some feedback from your mic, so I'm just going to turn you down for a few minutes.
Get out of here, Anthony.
Right back.
It was relevant to one of the questions that Ogun asked earlier. I don't recall what it was exactly.
He was asking if he would pick up any of the information that was in the library about if he'd ever read anything on the subjects of gods interacting with mortals.
Yeah. What would I know about that?
Teak is going to pick up a few more of just identities that she's heard in the chantry. Those being, she'll pick up one from... Well, she'll pick up another of Renalta's that she loves masquerading as a charlatan within Central Ililnagai. Then a... the last bit of information, I don't feel like Teak would have encountered it.
Okie dokie. Rolls high is useless anyway.
Well, no, I'm thinking on it, and I'm thinking of a way that Teak would have, like, possibly encountered this information.
She's an elite holy warrior from one of the most prominent churches in the land.
Yeah, there are accounts of humanity interacting with another god. She was only called the planner, as they couldn't quite, like, whoever it was, people believed it was like of divine origin, and the chantry would have, like, recorded this per, you know, the Four Ascended's requirements of, you know, share all the knowledge that you come across. And that name Teak would have came across would have been Lana, but it wouldn't have been attributed to any single god of, like, this was probably a divine being. It's like a really strange account of somebody, and it happened in Gwir several years ago. Yeah, there we go. The Sage of Gwir, I don't remember... Well, oh, I do remember who it is, because Malik threw him off a tower.
Or attempted to.
Well, you guys fell off a tower together. I don't remember what chantry he was a part of, but we'll say the Sage
Because the one time I needed to roll good on athletics, I just totally ate it.
The Sage
Multiple times.
Gwir recorded this event and sent it into the chantry. Teak's gonna know she can't ask him for any questions because that guy's been in a coma for several weeks.
Yeah. Some maniac threw him off a building.
Soulmane will just start laughing.
Oh yeah, Soulmane was there. There we go.
Yeah, Soulmane was the reason that Malik was there to begin with.
Vengeance.
Memories that I have none of.
Yeah, Elward came in the session after that.
Wait, really? The session immediately after?
Yes.
Literally the session after
You went
that
from falling off a
happened.
tower to fighting a vampire in one session.
Yes.
Yep, we went
I
from dropping
never
Teak
said
off.
Malik was good at anything.
We went from dropping Teak off a 100-foot drop.
Malik.
Malik, sorry.
Sorry, I've been mispronouncing it. Malik.
Malak.
Malachi. But we went from dropping Malik off of a tower. Wesley was there too.
Yep.
Yeah, I just flew around and watched all this shit happen.
Oh, go ahead.
We went from that to fighting a vampire lord.
Yeah, Group 1 hustled, or Group A hustled.
I think it was 2 sessions after that, because the end of that session is when I stabbed Nykirin.
Oh, yeah, it was 2. You're right.
I love how we catalog our party progression by the X of violence.
And what way did you stab her?
Alright, so speaking of hustling, the next thing on the agenda is travels on the road.
Actually,
yes.
Probably while the others were gone, Willow would have requested a meeting with the actual members of the I almost said unsullied, the unrepentant of he's got something he.
So that would be just Teak and then Fractus when he gets back. Would you wait for Fractus?
Yeah.
All right. So as everybody's like getting back together, and you know you guys are are about to get on the road and head across the bridge and southwards.
Just so I know, since I stepped away, sorry. Did we tell the rest of the party about getting the Eye of the Mountain taken care of?
I left that out.
Yeah, I was about to say the Ogun just relayed what he learned about the library.
Okay. I didn't know, and so I didn't want it to come up in an awkward conversation later.
Oh, it's going to come up in an awkward conversation later, I'm sure, when you mention it. But
it's going to be awkward for about 2 seconds before blades are drawn.
Yeah, I was about to say Fractus and Ogun were there, so. Anyways, yeah, the party gets back together, and Willow pulls Fractus and Teak aside. As everybody's, getting ready to head off. You guys have a moment to talk.
Before we get to that, Jeff Ogun, out of character, you had a problem with the stupid magic item necklace, but you had no problem signing a deal with the devil. I want you to remember.
No, he had a problem with the necklace because that would have ended up turning him or somebody else into a werewolf. Okay.
I know. I'm just saying.
And she's already a werewolf, so there's nothing he's doing about that. And she's not running around like.
The contract has clear terms.
Hell, anyway. So he's like, well, okay, turn it loose.
All right. Anyways, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, Fractus says talking to Teak and Willow.
So Willow is gonna pull out a good bit to the side, but not try to make it too secretive. He's gonna. So I've been thinking. I've worked with the Chantry of Omiya for a long time, but I've never actually been inducted into the Chantry, and I've been giving it some thought, and I've decided that I have a desire to. My desire is to, at some point, become a member of the Unrepentant. I've seen how you do business. I've seen what you all try to accomplish, and it's something I feel like I want to be a part of. And but I don't know what would be required of me to earn a spot among your order, and I was wondering if you could give me a head start or point me in the right direction.
For Teak and Fractus specifically, you guys are going to know members of the Unrepentant. They still follow Umiya's code of mercy whenever asked for, but they're the members who are willing to resort to violence, for protection or anything of that sort. That said, though,
Or in our case, hunting somebody across the continent.
Yeah. That said, you are going to know one of just like the main things of the group is you need a partner that is your that is basically your other half. On Repentance, work in duos. You guys are almost like detectives in a sense.
My understanding is that duo can change between assignments, though.
It can. But if Willow wants to become an unrepentant, he's going to need somebody to swear in with him.
I mean, Teak can do that.
Teak is an unrepentant. It's... I'm sorry, I don't think I phrased that.
Of the player characters here, only Solmain, Aud, and Willow aren't not unrepentant.
Ogin's a contractor. But it's basically 2 at a time. Of like, if Willow wants to become an unrepentant, and Teak wants to induct him, Teak also needs to induct somebody else.
Well, how did that work when Fractus? Because Teak recruited me.
Probably somebody that your mom suggested.
Fair enough.
And then, of course, after training, you guys went your separate ways.
So I'm guessing they relay all that then?
Yeah, I was going to say Teak and Practice can, relay it however they want.
To me, being a part of the unrepentant means doing what is right, no matter what that cost might be. And, in my opinion, it takes sometimes even greater strength to sometimes withhold from doing certain things, if that makes sense. It would be easy to act out of rage and wrath and that sort of thing. But for me, the Chantry of Lumia has always been about love and mercy. And it is those tenets that I carry with me into battle every single day, as ironic as that may be. Because I tend to view, I think, opponents on the battlefield as potentially just people that need stricter discipline. And one way or another, I intend to offer it to them. Not because I hate them or because I wish death upon them, but because I wish that they could be better than they are. Which is the only thing that I can wish for myself. To be better than I am. I've been called by a few some kind of paragon of virtue, and I do not necessarily disagree, but I am not without my flaws, and it is the acknowledgement of those flaws that allows me to work towards being better about them, not ridding myself of them, because you cannot do that, but acknowledging that they are there, and acknowledging that you will try to make the best of whatever time you have despite them.
That's a code and a half to live by.
Something like that.
I understand your sentiment. I've fluttered from place to place, as is my, suppose, our nature. Never really set roots, but I find my path always ends up back at the Chantry. And with what's going on, with how much of our blood we've spilt with each other over the past, and the fact that I spend more time amongst the unrepentant than I do my own kinfolk, to not at least offer fealty would be dishonest.
Let me guess. You feel like you found a home.
Elward's not there. He's
fuck.
Yeah, he's pulled away from this.
Get out! This is my moment.
God
Don't
damn
wait.
I thought I was there.
Leave me alone.
Fuck you.
Outburst aside, I feel more at home with the Chantry than I do with my own blood kin. I feel they are often more concerned with the latest vintage than contributing to the world at large, and here I feel like what we do means something. And it's odd, but my road keeps leading me here, so I need to look at things more objectively, and I think it's something that I need to be a part of. And however I can. If the Chantry doesn't need me in this capacity, I'll find another means to serve. But I feel like I need to serve somehow.
Teek's going to take off her helmet and place a hand on Willow's shoulder. It fills me with great joy to hear you say that. Rest assured, there is a place for you within the Chantry.
That's what I wanted to hear. The rest is less important, I suppose. If that makes sense.
Practice will say you'll make a damn fine unrepentant.
Yes, I have to agree.
I appreciate that. In any case, I guess we have. This is, I suppose, less important than kind of getting through the rest of this alive, which we kind of make it. Anyway,
I have faith that we will, and if we do not, then what does it matter? You know.
I'm working up to that point. But it's I think, well, that's one reason I'm here. I think is I would have considered it a success if we all do make it home, and I had something to do with it, I guess. But anyway, I appreciate your time and your vote of confidence.
Indeed. And before you step away, I will say, while in this group, I tend to think of us more as family more than comrades. If you ever need to speak about anything, just let us know. We'll make time for it. Okay?
I'll remember that. Thank you. So.
And Willow, Practice switches to Elvin. He's like, you will always be a brother to us, regardless of what your official status is, and let the waves crash upon that shore.
Willow's going to start blinking a lot and clear his throat. He hasn't heard Elvin in a long time, so He's going to say, return to Elven, then my, whatever it's worth, my sword and blood will be for this family. And start blinking a lot more and then kind of turn away. Like, well, we better get, we've got a lot of ground to cover. Thank you again. I should get Bronwyn. And he just sort of trails off.
Teek's gonna give him a hug.
No.
Hugging intensifies.
Yeah.
Can't escape the love.
Yeah, he's gonna kind of. He doesn't. He'll hug back.
Roll the grapple.
Oh God!
Damn it!
Ah! Help! He'll hug back. He's not used to.
Why can't I roll a long grapple? All right.
He'll hug back, but it's not something he does often. So it's kind of awkward, I guess. It's like, what's emotion? Stop it. And anyway, so yeah, I appreciate that guy.
With that, I'll be right.
Okay. So, real quick for Willow, we can discuss this more in the future. But if he wants to be, sworn in, he can try and convince one of the Blue Band members to join with him, or he can, look for a squire on the road. And we can discuss that after the session tonight.
You stable boy.
You stable boy. Come join a paladin order, but no choice. Anyways,
I'm going to help you. How? By making you join an order of warriors to die.
The party now has a decision to make. So I outlined a path for you. That there are several wars in this region happening right now. Arder Serai is in a border conflict with Illunagai. So Yessa is fighting with the remainder of Westwind's forces up and down the rivers of Arder Serai, trying to secure them. All the tiny blue X's are areas where there have been or are skirmishes with Illunagai. The huge blue X is a war currently that Illunagai is engaged in with a faction called the Archblight. And this is gossip in the region that, as you guys have been traveling, you would have just picked up on. Going through any of those areas, it is going to be potentially dangerous. Trying to cross those lands or battlefields, especially as a single small group. The other, you guys can go that way, and I'll just roll you a event die. And that is the purple line, and I'll do this next one as a light blue line. This path would be a little bit quicker, but you can try and find a riverboat smuggler and go down through the rivers of Arder Serai, and then try and weave the lands in between these conflicts into Dockensdale. That would require paying to be to get on those riverboats. One's free, the other's dangerous. One's free and dangerous. The other one is safe and costs money. Which path do you guys want to go?
Free and dangerous.
Free and dangerous. That's one vote.
Well, it depends on how much it is.
Damn it.
And it also depends on whether the riverboat guy notices I'm robbing him blind.
Also, does he have space for a bear and a stupid large elk?
Well, yeah,
And a horse,
you would have
and a wagon.
You'd have to leave the carriage behind. There's there'd be enough space for people and livestock. But to answer your question, it'd be 13 gold a person.
That's obscene. Dangerous it is.
And there you cut out. I did not hear a single word of that.
The party's leaning towards dangerous. All right.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards dangerous, or Ogun's leaning towards dangerous. I was curious about that price you just mentioned. I didn't hear you.
13, I believe.
13 gold per person.
Oh, that's actually not that bad.
No, I could.
Danger sounds like more fun, so let's do
I
that.
could pay that, but the problem is we would lose the cart, which is what everybody is traveling on. So then we'd be on foot.
Well, yeah, that is true. It would actually cost us something to lose that wagon.
Wagons are replaceable. That's not that big of a deal.
True.
But...
That and a lot of the books and the weapons and stuff is being stored on the.
It just means we pack it up, and we have to get a new wagon on the other end.
But that costs more money than...
Yeah, but we could sell the wagon.
But XP.
Yeah, but I don't really want to sell my horse, and what are we going to do with the bear and the elk? Those are kind of irreplaceable.
The livestock can be taken on the boat.
Yeah, so we can take the horses and the animals. We just can't take the cart.
You know, we can buy another one in this situation.
We can buy
kill the animals and eat them.
No, Group 1 would have paid passage to get on, then once on, killed everybody who's relevant, and then once they get to the other side,
try to
burn the boat,
dismantled the boat, and build a wagon out of the boat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does this fix the wagon issue?
No, JD. Here's what.
No. Remember, Stormier was proficient in carpenter's tools.
Yeah.
No, JD, what would have happened was we would have killed them all, then realized we don't know how to steer the boat, and then run aground.
Also true.
All right. Let's just do it like this. In chat, press type 1 in Roll20 chat if you want to go the safe route, and 2 if you want to pay for passage along the river.
Wait, that's the option.
Oh, I'm sorry. The 1 for the river or 2 for the battlefields.
Unfortunately, practice will, no matter what his opinion is, will follow whatever Teak says, whether he likes it.
Well, I rolled a 2. So.
The unrepentants are going to war, and the thieves are going by a river.
Yeah, basically.
Well, the thieves often make them steal something, so it's worth it too.
Yeah, the blue band is leaning towards the river too, but we've got 4 votes for the battlefields. All right, that's fantastic.
Yeah, because who wants to die on the way to Elena, huh? As opposed to actually getting to her. Because you're all idiots.
We could just Oregon Trail this shit and try to
sounds like it'll be quicker, and he doesn't have to trust anybody else. He doesn't want to have to trust a river smuggler.
And we're not cowards.
That too.
That and we want Ogun to die of dysentery.
I think the DM wants Ogun to die of dysentery.
I would never wish.
Just want him to die of completely.
I would never wish such a horrific fate on Ogun. I want Ogun to pass gently in his sleep. So, speaking of which, cool.
Yeah,
so
you're gonna be hard pressed to actually kill Ogun.
Tell me about it. He's got 3 health bars.
Especially with that +5 to saves that he gets
from Teak. Yeah. In addition to that.
You're forgetting, like, there are such a thing as smart enemies that will hit you when you're down.
Yeah, but in addition to that, Teak has a soft spot for Ogun and will heal him if he asks ever at any.
All right.
Like if he's like, I'm a little hurt. Could I get a little bit of healing? Teak's like, here, take all of my lay on.
Take my life essence.
Let me touch you.
Also, I don't mean to cut things short, but It is 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we're about to finish up right here.
Okay.
So
making sure that you were keeping an eye on.
Well, one attempt at RP got cut off.
For your travels, it is going to be 3 days to get to Dockensdale. The first night, Ogun has visions of... Yeah. Ogun dreams. He has visions of a tower standing between two rivers. The second day of travels, the party is going to walk through some smoldering countryside, presumably where Ardor Sarai went on to the offensive, burning areas of the forest being that have been burnt, and that the damages still show. The third day of travels, Dockensdale would be in the distance, but you guys you can see the smokes of forges coming from the towns, and you would be kind of pressed between you guys would be kind of pressed between the two war fronts. And as you are setting up for camp that night and everybody's taking their rounds at watching, the party is going to hear this unnatural, just like clattering, clinking, and then just swarming over the camp is going to be like this storm of just spirits circling around this place. And then from the night camping alongside the road, you guys are going to see...
Uh-oh.
Dancing swords.
This figure coming forward. It has a small skeletal legion with him, and we will pick up next session with combat.
Hey.
Yeah, going through the battlefield was a great idea, guys.
Sure was.
Great idea.
It's great for us non-cowards.
You're idiots.
All right.
Just shut up, idiot.
Well,
there's nothing more to that.
You guys
You're expendable.
You guys did okay with a 56, a 64 on your first 2 days of dice, and then the third was a 95. And it was just like, well. Anyways, though, yeah, good session tonight. You guys got some information. Some information I wanted to give you, but I didn't know how to convey it in a way that was relevant. And then also, too, the Sage of Ardor Sarai is possibly going to be back. Or not the Sage, the Eye of the Mountain is going to be back in commission, which is going to be fantastic.
Brandon, just so I know, using my infinite knowledge of this world, being everywhere and anywhere, is that who I think it is?
It is who you think it is.
Son of a bitch.
Soulmane learned something too about the capital. There are lots of fiends living inside of the capital. That said, the party is on the evening of the 11th of Hunter. We'll pick up on the 11th, and then the 12th of Hunter, if you survive, is when you'll be arriving in Dockensdale. Experience for tonight, Eye of the Mountain. I'm giving you guys 1,000 for that, and giving that away through her. The God's Names, I'm gonna give you guys 800 for that. There was something else that was conveyed tonight, and I don't remember what it was. Oh, Nikiran and Soulbane, I'm going to give you guys 500 for that. And then 500. I'm going to give another 500 for Willow and Teak, and joining the Unrepentant. Or at least looking to join the Unrepentant. And one more thing happened tonight that Minor information about the world. The demons and devils don't like each other, and the devils are the ones passing out the lycanthropy curse. Oh my god, you guys got huge information tonight, and I'll give you guys one more set of information. Did anybody... I'll give you guys a little bit of information on conjecture. 500, because it wasn't revealed. If anybody wants to take a moment and guess about things that are going through the world. Specifically with the Rendils.
Oh, her parents are out in the world somewhere.
Honestly, haven't a clue.
She said, if she abandons her posts, that's the only time she goes into a crazy killer demonic werewolf form. You guys have met a crazy demonic killer werewolf. Or at least half the party
God,
has.
Her father is Terracry?
Possibly, you don't know that. But you know he might be related to these libraries somehow.
God
damn it, Terracry.
That uncle that nobody likes.
So
yeah,
Terracry,
exactly.
it was one of this part of this family and abandoned them.
Possibly. You guys, for tonight's session, 3,800 experience.
Is that on top of everything else, or
No, that's in total. That's
okay.
1,000 for personal stories, 1,000 for the actual story, 800 for something. I don't remember what I gave you 800 for. 500 for a minor event, and then 500 for the conjecture about the world. At 3,800.
Alright.
3,800.
Alright, good stuff for tonight, and your next session is going to be on the 26th of November. Is everybody cool with playing on that date?
Yeah, I don't have any issues with that.
Alright, we will end
I haven't got
there.
any plans for sleep.
Sleep's overrated anyways.
Speaking of which,